Hey guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and welcome to Benie's Pantry. Putting together a menu for a dinner party can be so daunting, and adding the holiday season on top of that, yes, this year, unfortunately, we are not celebrating as big as we often do, but I still believe we need to make the holidays special, especially after all we have been through. Whether it's by ourselves or just 2 or 3 people getting together. To give you an idea or inspire your holiday menu, I put a menu together that is not only easy to follow, but so delicious, and you can have it done in 2 to 3 hours, depending how much fun you're having in the kitchen, of course. Let's get cooking. On the menu, we have oven roasted salmon that we're going to eat with a side of zucchini and yellow squash. It's going to be a very quick recipe. Also, we have oven roasted chicken. I have chicken thighs here, the upper part, but we're going to roast on a bed of Brussels sprout and sweet potato. And of course, in my opinion, every holiday menu needs a rich, creamy dish. This year, I am skipping the mac and cheese and we're going to make some patate au gratin. Oh yes, cream and cheese, baby. Along with that, we're going to have a tossed salad. And for our dessert, well, you're just going to have to find out. First, we're going to start by making our dinner rolls that will go along with whatever we're eating. So I have 2 cups of warm water. And here I have 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast and 1 tablespoon of sugar. So we're just gonna mix that on low, and afterwards we're just gonna let it rest for about 5 minutes. Now that it has been 5 minutes, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to start mixing it slowly and add our flour. In total for this, we're going to need 5 cups of flour. I'm going to start by adding just 3 and start mixing. So I got 3. And we're going to start, and we're going to add the remaining 2 cups later. After adding the remaining flour, now we have a dough ball that's formed, which we're going to transfer over in a oiled container and let this rest for about 1 hour. This is going to allow the dough to double its size. So while our dinner roll dough is rising, we're going to get started on the main dish, which is the oven roasted salmon. So I've rinsed my salmon already in vinegar, and what I'm doing, I am using 1 tomato, 1 onion, 1 green pepper, and some fresh garlic, and I'm cutting them in not small pieces but some medium pieces, and I'm going to lay the salmon over a bed with these ingredients here. We're going to add some black pepper. We're going to season our bottom. We're going to add a little bit of salt. Not too much, because we're also going to season the salmon. And about a teaspoon of lemon juice. Last but not least, some olive oil. Just a drizzle of olive oil. Okay, I'm gonna mix this. I already washed this in vinegar, so I'm just going to add steak seasoning. I love to use steak seasoning because it's a beautiful blend of various spices. It's like an all-in-one. And I'm going to add just a little bit of oil, because it already, fish already has its own oil, but just a little bit to help me mix the seasoning on top of it. And salmon is just so good and delicious on its own. Honestly, it does not need much. It doesn't need much seasoning, you guys. And we have our oven preheated at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to bake first. We're going to bake this for 15 minutes. Yes, not a long time, because you don't want to dry the salmon, you know. I mean, like I said, you know, people eat this raw on top of a piece of rice, okay? So it doesn't have to be overcooked. So 15 minutes baked, and then we're going to broil each side for 5 minutes. So a total of 25 minutes. And that's gonna give it a golden glaze. Now for our second dish, we have the oven roasted chicken. I have chicken thighs, and yes, I still have the skin on mine. Sometimes I do not keep it on, I remove it. But you know, for this season, holiday season, I'm gonna keep the skin on. So we're gonna season our chicken first. We have lemon juice. We're gonna put salt and pepper. We have some black pepper. I have about 1 teaspoon of salt, not too much. All right. And a boatload of Dijon mustard. Yeah. Okay. This is probably two tablespoons of Dijon mustard. How? It's almost over. That's why you can hear the glass. So now we're just going to mix this, marinate. We're going to set the chicken aside, and we're going to cut the Brussels sprouts in halves, and we're going to dice the sweet potatoes and make a bed of Brussels sprout and sweet potato and lay the chicken on top of it. Oh, it smells so good. So we're going to season the combination of sweet potato and Brussels sprout with a basic just salt and pepper and a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit of salt, not too much salt. You really want to watch your salt. I mean, it's not even necessary really. And olive oil. And this will also go in the oven for 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to cook it for 35 minutes. Now that our dough has risen, we're going to form our rolls. And what I have here is my baking sheet and a little bit of cornmeal flour. I'm going to put around here, and I will install my dinner rolls on top of it. All right. We're just going to knead our dough, and we're gonna form rolls. Isn't it so easy and simple? I like to use a knife just to help you cut the dough, make it easy for you. I mean, your rolls don't have to be perfect, but this is a good way to start. I mean, if you really want to make them even, but I honestly don't care for it. Too much time trying to think. You can roll many ways. You can just roll. You can roll with your hands. It's nice and round. Put it there. Or you can use the surface and, you know, just roll. Use the surface. That's all. And it will rise again. So you want to put them, to space them apart. Because after we place them in a tray, we're going to leave it for 30 minutes, just sit there. And we're gonna put it in the oven at 400 or 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 20 minutes. After resting for 30 minutes, you can see our rolls have increased a little bit. Before putting it in the oven, as a tip, Place a tray with some water on the bottom to create some steam in the oven. This will keep your rolls soft and prevent them from being dry. Now onto our creamy and rich dish. We're going to make patate au gratin. So I have 3 potatoes here and I just sliced them thinly. We're going to use 2 cups of buttermilk, 1.5 cups of cheese or more to your liking, salt and pepper. So I'm just gonna start by seasoning this here. We're gonna put everything except the cheese. So I got my pepper, approximately 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay. This is very quick. And we're just gonna put the buttermilk in here. There you go. And then I'm gonna save some just to put at the bottom of this. Yeah, like a quote. And this is going to go in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna put it in for 30 minutes. We're gonna cover it. All right, so I'm just gonna use my hand here. Okay. So we're gonna put it in the oven for about 30 minutes covered, and afterwards we're going to take it out and we're going to uncover it, put some, layer it the top with some cheese so that it is nice and golden. All right, so I just want to make sure that the buttermilk just gets on all the potatoes. So now we're just gonna layer it. All right, here we're going to do 1 layer, add some cheese, and another layer, add more cheese. Oh yes, guys. I mean, no mac and cheese this year. We're doing patate au gratin. Something different, you know. This is not a dish that you will have all the time, but oh, look at that. Just put some cheese on top of that. Yeah. A layer of more potato slices. You basically want just enough buttermilk to cover your dish. I'm not doing this in order, aren't I? This will go in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for a total of 1 hour. The first half hour, we're going to have it covered with aluminum foil. Then we will take it out, remove the foil, add some cheese on top, and put it back uncovered for another 30 minutes. So while the potato au gratin are in the oven, we're going to start on our sauté zucchini. This is going to be a great side to go along with the chicken or even the salmon. All right, so we're just going to have some green zucchinis and some yellow squash. We're going to saute it like 10 minutes. It's going to be easy and delicious. Right at this moment, we should have many of our dishes ready. Right, our dinner rolls are in the oven, the salmon is ready, the chicken is ready, the patate au gratin is cooking. So yeah, we're almost done. So we're going to make this, and then we'll make the salad, and we'll work on our dessert. And yeah, so a very quick dinner menu. Let's start with our onion. And squash. I'm expecting this to be ready to cook all together no more than 15 minutes. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, just because I'm lazy to cut actual garlic. I'm also going to add a seasoning mix. So this is a no salt seasoning mix. It has basil, thyme, garlic, onion powder, oregano. It has all the seasoning, I mean, you know, several seasoning in there. And I encourage people, if you see this in store, buy it, because it saves you so much time. You know, you have all these flavors in one, you know, in one bottle. And get the no salt, because I feel like many times when you buy seasoning mix with salt, I feel like half of it is just salt. It's like so much salt in there. So when you buy the no salt seasoning mix, you know that you're mostly getting spices and half of it is not just salt. I mean, you got your own salt at home. You can add your own salt. Yeah, and this prevents you also from over salting your food. So if you see a no salt seasoning mix, I encourage you to buy it or always have it in your cupboard. We're gonna squeeze. And we're going to add one teaspoon of salt. And when it comes to the salt, you guys, make your own rule. The less, the better. So I say 1 teaspoon. Maybe you might want to put 2 teaspoons. Or I say 2 teaspoons, and you might want to put 1 teaspoon or no teaspoon, no salt at all. Just because I'm putting salt doesn't mean you have to put salt as well. When it comes to salting your food, it's a personal preference. A little bit of water, not too much water. And I'm gonna reduce to medium heat. I love to eat this with rice. I just like this with rice or quinoa. I mean, if you're a vegetarian or you just have a day where you don't feel like eating meat, you make this side dish or you make these zucchinis with quinoa or couscous or rice. It's really good. We're just gonna give it a minute or two and it's ready. Now I'm going to make the salad. I have lettuce here, but I just chopped. Okay, I rinsed in vinegar, and I'm going to add some green pepper. So just think about being colorful, okay? I have green pepper, yellow pepper. I have red pepper, some onion, and lots of carrots. So just colorful. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put all of this in here. Doesn't hurt. So got all these here, and we're going to make the dressing that we're gonna pour in the bowl, and we're just gonna mix it all. When it comes to a salad dressing, preference, okay? You don't have to make exactly what I'm having here. You can make your own vinaigrette or whatever you like to add to your salad, but I'm going to make my own. Now, I like to add mustard, just that mustard flavor in my dressing. And I realized as I was cooking that I ran out of mustard, which is okay, it happens. So instead of getting rid of the bottle it came in, because there's still some mustard in there, I'm gonna use this to make my dressing, so I still get to have that Dijon mustard, flavor. So we're going to mix lemon juice. Ooh, I made a mess. All right, I have olive oil, and it's all about how much you want, okay? How much you like in there. I have salt and pepper here. Again, salt, all your preference. If you don't want salt, that's okay. And I have avocado mayonnaise. So big load of mayonnaise because I like my dressing nice and creamy. If you want a vinaigrette, that's fine. Skip the mayo. That's okay. And we're gonna close this and do not add the dressing until you are ready to serve your dinner, because the dressing affects the look of the lettuce and it kind of looks sad and soggy. So what you can do is just wait to add it when you're ready, or just put the dressing on the side. For the big end, we have our dessert. I call this naughty and nice. We have our fruits, which is of course good for you, they eat your fruits, blah blah blah. But we're gonna make it a little naughty by adding some Greek yogurt. Not so bad, not so naughty after all. But then we're gonna fill it with condensed milk. It's high in sugar, just to let you know if you're watching your sugar, this is high in sugar. But this is the Greek yogurt is gonna bring a creaminess to it. and the condensed milk is going to bring the sweetness. So you have a Greek yogurt. Just put as much as you would like, you know. And I have a mixture of pear, apple, and grapes. You can add any fruit that you would like. So I'm gonna start here. I put in about half of my can. All right. And we're just going to mix this up. I squeeze half a lemon juice in there. I mean, if you want it like this, where it's much more fruits over cream, that's fine. Do what works for you. But I want it to have a little more creaminess to it, so I'm going to add another cup of Greek yogurt and maybe a little bit more condensed milk. You can also add something crunchy to it. For example, you can add some pecans or some pretzel. You know, you can add that to it. Or let's say if you have some brownie left over. So good. You can scramble some on top of that. Yeah, you see that? Oh, so good. But I'm going to leave mine like this today. I'm not going to add anything else to it. But yeah, if you have some pecans, some pretzel, brownie bits, or even cake, go ahead. Add some to it. You're the boss, okay? Do what rocks your boat. And one thing I usually add, I like to add coconut flakes on top of it. But I don't have coconut flakes, so I ran out. My pantry doesn't have any coconut flakes. But usually what I will do, I will add some coconut flakes on top of it. It's also really good and it looks really beautiful. But this is fine too. All right, so I think this is good. And what you do, you can also have some Greek yogurt on the side. So if your guests want to add much more creaminess to it, they can add more. And there you have it, guys, a menu developed to inspire your holiday dinner. I really hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, share. I really appreciate it. And subscribe so you do not miss out on future episodes. But most of all, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.